Hey everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting and another episode of Cash or Trash, where, according to some, JP craps all over the hot books of the week. So I prefer to think of it as try to bring a little reality to the hot books of the week, but I know that some don't see it that way. As always, I'm going to try to keep this as tight as I can, so I will not shout out the chat a ton. I will try to shout you out a couple of times. A reminder, I'm going to go through the categories again, as always, and then I am going to get into the books. I will try to do a shout out between the categories and the books, and let's get to it. So this is as rewatchable as possible. Also, a reminder, just because a book is in the come on man or the trash category or lower down on my list, doesn't mean the book itself is inherently bad. It means paying the crazy prices people are paying for it right now is bad. So, with that, without further ado, let's get into a reminder of the categories. Our first and best category is Street Cash Homie. These are books that have value, have always had value, are generally just trending up. There might be a bump here, which it might be worth waiting till there's a lull to come back to. But generally, these books are slowly but surely chugging up the chain and are solid investments. Maybe you just want to pause and search around, though, and not necessarily buy them right this moment. We have the I'll Be Backs. These are also good books. Not got the kind of track record, the long-term staying power as a straight cash homie kind of books, but books that have intrinsic value just are books that you'll want to, shop around, wait for a better deal than what's going on right now. So that is our second category. Our third category is It's a Trap. And as we've talked about, there's a couple of subcategories under this one. We'll get to those when we get there. But these are books that are flat out traps. They're going for way more than they're ever going to be worth at any other time because of some rumor or something. Doesn't mean they're necessarily not worth anything. It just means they're probably never going to be worth what they're charging for you now. And you're literally throwing money, overpaying for something. So that is our third category. Our fourth category is, come on, man. You know this is a dumb buy. Don't buy the hype. There's no way this book is ever going to be worth what people are charging for it. Just stop it. And finally, our last category is occasionally a come on man, it's so bad that I am going to throw it in the dumpster fire because that's where it deserves to be. There's just no other way around it. So let me shout out this chat really quick, and then we will get to this week's books. First up, we got Unruly Simeon. Thank you. Always here. I appreciate it, my friend. Perry is lurking, as always. Hey, what's going on, Perry? Ben Compton, a frequent visitor. I appreciate you stopping in. Bulgarian Vigilante. I don't know if I ever pronounced that right. I apologize if I don't. Always a frequent visitor. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Seawood, what's up, newsstand? We got Dollar Ben Fodder. What's going on? And I think that is everybody I see so far. Oh, Dave Maris, thank you. Just beating the buzzer before I started the books. So with that, let's get into our and Two Brothers Comics also in the house. Thank you for joining me. So this week we actually had two books that I put into the straight cash homie category, and they are. Well, let's get into them. So, that's unusual. The most I've had. First up is Avengers Annual number 10. This is the first appearance of Rogue. As you know, this hit the list this week because everyone is going crazy for the fact that, there's rumors that Rogue's going to be in the first X-Men to be brought to the MCU. That she's going to be a potential villain in Captain Marvel number 2. Mind you, we don't have a date for Captain Marvel number 2. But this made the track record on this book probably barely justifies it being a straight cash homie book, in my opinion. But I think that's because it's always been kind of an undervalued book, which I think comes back to it's one of the worst covers for a first appearance there is. But I think that this is a book that even right now with the little bump, it's probably not crazy priced to where it should probably be. I would definitely wait till these rumors fade a little bit to do it because, like I said, we don't have a date for this movie, so there's going to be time if this rumor is even true to pick this book up. But it did make my list just because Rogue is such an important character, been around for long enough that this is a straight cash only book. As Unruly says, that's a blue chip commodity. It is. It's been an undervalued blue chip commodity, in my opinion. So, and so I think even with the the current bump that's going on, it's not crazy price, but I would probably still kind of wait for a little bit of a lull here in the aftermath of these rumors. Our second book on our Great Cash Homie book is a very similar, in my opinion, another first appearance. This is the first appearance of Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew. And this is a book that also I think has been somewhat underrated over the years, even with there's rumors of a casting that Sony is working on casting Spider-Woman for potentially live action as well. So, and there's also rumors that she's coming to the next or a future of the animated Spider-Verse movies. So there's kind of two fronts related to this character, but there was casting. Another book I feel like is a little bit underrated over the years. With the bump, it's probably, again, you'll want to wait for maybe a lull here, but definitely not crazy price just yet. So, so those are my two straight cash homie books this week. So next up is the I'll Be Backs, and we have only 4 I'll Be Backs. There's 16 books total this week. I should have mentioned. And so, let's see, get that back off of there. First up is the book that was on was it on last week? I can't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. This is the Star Wars Heir to the Empire, first Thrawn, first Mara Jade. Thrawn is going to be, they've used him in the Rebels show. They've done books, they've done comics. There is going to be there are rumors of a live action show on Disney Plus. He's going to get used again. I will say I almost bumped this a little lower. I feel like it's starting to get to a pretty high peak at the moment, but I don't think it's out of line. I think this is a book that's going to have value. I think this is a Star Wars character that's going to be used. So again, I would probably wait for a lull on this one. It's not, but the prices aren't crazy just yet, but crazy compared to what they were, which I think was undervalued a little bit for a character it looks like Marvel is definitely going to use. But so that is our first kind of I'll Be Back book. Let's see. Next up. So this is a rare cover that I'm actually going to put on the I'll Be Back list. This is Star Wars Darth Vader #1 from the new series. This is a 1 in 100 Mike DeMundo variant. So why does this make the list? I don't necessarily think this is that great of a cover. It's going for $150, $175 on 1 in 100, which I think is too much. That's why it's an I'll Be Back. I would definitely wait on this. Here's the thing. These Star Wars variants tend to buck the trend of these incentives that crash. Doesn't mean it's going to be worth this, which is why it's an I'll Be Back. But I don't think it's going to be like a $15, $20 book. I think it's going to be a $70, $80 book. And that's been kind of typical for these Star Wars variants. There's not a huge print run on them, and the audience that wants them tends to still want them. So that's why I put it here. Just if anything else, the 1 in 100 was doing this, I would probably have it bumped down to the It's a Trap level. Because it's Star Wars and they seem to have a slightly different track record, this one is getting this rating. Hey, Geeks Dorks, I will definitely go back through the chat here in just a minute. We'll get through this category and then we'll do the chat again. Our third I'll Be Back book is Spider-Woman #1. This is a book that is bounced for the same reason that her first appearance is bounced. These rumors about casting her. Now, if you watch the Tom's video, there's rumors and apparently evidence that there's a bunch of these that have been hidden, basically boxes that have never been opened to these that are hitting the market. So my guess is the market is potentially going to get flooded with these around the time she makes her first appearance of like 9.8s and high grade copies of this. So I would be patient. If the market's going to, I mean, that's the rumor. I'd be patient on this anyway, but this one I don't think has the intrinsic value of her obviously first appearance. It is a great cover. This is a little more of a classic with the hair look and stuff, but if those kind of eBay things that they were talking about is real, then yeah, you're definitely going to want to wait on this one. So and I don't know that for sure, but I mean, they were showing it and I kind of looked some stuff up and it appears that there are those kind of sales going on. Our last, I'll be back. This one I debated definitely on putting down below. This is Giant Size Defenders, number 3. So this is a kind of a who. It's the first living computer. There's rumors that Christian Bale is going to be the living computer. Here's why I put this in. So this book is bounced because of that, which no one cares if Christian Bale is going to be a living computer. The villain doesn't. That villain probably isn't going to amount to much. A lot of MCU villains don't. The books spike at the movie and then crash. I would say this about this one, and the only reason I put it here is because this book actually had some value beforehand as an early Defenders book. It wasn't like a $1 book. It was a book that had value. It's not going for crazy prices just yet. I mean, like, well, it is going for crazy prices, but it was already like had strong value beforehand. As while it falls into this category. And yeah, so despite the fact that it's, sales are for like $200, like for raw copies, but they was already going for a lot of that beforehand. It wasn't like this is, so that's why it made it here. And Jay Hood talking about a little bit about that, those rumors related to the Spider-Woman stuff. So those are our I'll be back category. So next up, we're going to go to the It's a Trap books. But first, I'm going to shout out this chat again. Jay Hood, I already mentioned, is dropped in here. Let's see, we got Mad Mike's, what's going on? Dollar Ben, I think I shouted you out before, can't remember. Conquistadorks, what's going on? I did shout out Dollar Ben. Comics for Thomas, thank you for joining us. I think I got 2 brothers. Yeah, so I think I got everybody at this point. Biggie Shack rolling in here. So with that, let's move on to Biggie Shack's favorite part of the show where JP craps on books. We are to the It's a Trap category. So I'll be honest, this first one I strongly debated on actually going even lower with and calling this one a dumpster fire. But it's an ash can, so that's what kept me from doing it, which means it's probably fairly limited. So this is bang number 1. This hit the list because Key Collector put out a vague alert basically saying news is coming, which the news is it's going to be optioned. The book's not even out yet. This ash can is out. People are paying $20 to $30 for a 2 per retailer ash can, which makes me really close to dropping this to the Come On Mans. If it was like the actual number 1, it would definitely be down there. Because it's an ash can, there's only 2 per store. It's fairly limited. The price isn't that crazy yet. I've put it in the It's a Trap. Yeah, they put out this vague statement like potential news coming, important news announcements coming related to this book. Well, it's going to get optioned. But all of these things get optioned. It doesn't matter. So that's why it's in a trap. I forgot to actually, this is the category. I forgot to do my category on this one. So yes, my category under It's a Trap. This is the only one. Is everything gets optioned. This is your reminder. All these indies are getting optioned because it's cheaper to option them up front before they know if they're a hit. That is why Bang is getting optioned. It's not, I don't know that for sure. That's not official, but what other news related to this book could there be? Yeah. So that is our first book under It's a Trap. It's our only option book this week. The rest of our books fall under the It's So Pretty I'm Gonna Die covers. We just have to have because, yeah. So first of the It's So Pretty I'm Gonna Die is this Wolverine, Marvel Tales Wolverine number 1. In-Hyuk Lee 1 in 50 variant. That's going for $150 at release. This one you could argue, kind of like the Darth Vader, these Marvel Tales tend to be such a low print that these do tend to do, the Marvel Tales incentives do tend to do better than the average incentive. But at 150 for a 1 in 50, I think that's way crazy. I think you're looking at a book that's going to maybe will stay around ratio long term, but not. It's a cool Wolverine cover, but I just don't see it. It as Unruly says, that is pretty. It's a cool one. It's kind of the original. It's the original costume. But let's think about how many cool Wolverine covers there are. Is this one really going to have a long-term market? I have a hard time believing that, but I have been wrong many times. Dollar Ben is saying I'm wrong on this one, which I may be. So we'll see in a few months if I'm wrong or right on this one. I just don't think it's 150. I think it has value because it is a Marvel tale. Like I said, I think it's $50, $75 book. I don't think it has the 150 value that it's going for right now. But we will see. We will see. So next is Undone by Blood, or The Shadow of a Wanted Man, number 1, the 1 in 15, excuse me, variant. And this book was also kind of a hot indie. There's rumors of it being optioned. And this is the 1 in 15 variant that everybody kind of jumped on. It's going for 20 plus. Yeah, again, these Aftershock books don't have a good track record in terms of if they get optioned of actually amounting to anything. It's only a 1 in 15. My guess is it'll be like a $10 to $15 book, not a $20 to $30 book. So again, that's why I'm calling it a trap. Now we have this one almost jumped to the Come On Man. This was on the list last week. The only thing that's keeping it in the It's a Trap, it's a 1 in 10 second print of Power Rangers TMNT number 1. So it's a second print. It's a 1 in 10. People love these damn helmet covers. I don't see it. I don't get it. There's a bunch of them. They've been made with every character multiple times at this point. There's other Green Ranger covers. I guess his visor's not cracked in these other ones. I realize that Shredder's holding the helmet in this one. But $60 to $70 for a second print? I think that's a trap. I think it's too much. So there you go. That is that. And then the last of our covers is the Dottie Cates, or the Scotty Young Venom number 23 Young variant, $15 to $20 out the gate for this variant. These Scotty Young variants do not have a long and good track record from what I have seen. This is a fun one, but it's not super limited. It's not an incentive of any sort. It was an open order. It's cool. It's fun. They don't usually have much of a last. So let's see. Now, so we're moving on. Next category, under the It's a Traps, and it doesn't matter who they are. These are these rumors about characters that we don't care about. We've never cared about. They've never amounted to anything, and yet suddenly we're paying stupid prices for them because there's a rumor they might show up somewhere, somehow, at some point, in some way. And yeah, so that is. Oh, hang on, clicked on the wrong thing. My bad. So, one too far. Let's go back to Miss Marvel, number 12. This is the first appearance of Red Dagger. Yeah, who the heck is Red Dagger, and do we care? We've never cared before. This was a $1 bin book. Red Dagger didn't make any kind of impression in the comics. There's rumors he might be a part of the Miss Marvel TV show. That's a ways away, but we're paying $15-20 for this. Yeah, that's a trap. Just wait. You will be able to get this book for $10, $5, $1. You can find it probably for $1 somewhere. I would not be chasing this book. That is my opinion. We've never cared about Dagger before. Why would we care about him now? Exactly. You didn't know who he was before, you darn gonna know or care later. Next is right in that same line, and this is a book. So this book on the list for the second week in a row because it hit one list last week, it hit the other list this week. I think it went. I think it was on Tom's list last week. It's on CBSI this week. I think that actually was the same thing with the Thrawn book. It hasn't actually went up again in the week. It's just kind of the staggering of when they looked at the list and when they developed their list. It hit a list one week and hit the other the next week. It's why it's here again. This is the first appearance of Cyclone, the granddaughter of Red Tornado, I believe. Anybody know who the hell Cyclone is? Anybody ever care about Cyclone before? Somebody explain to me why we're paying $20 for this book? Yeah. I'm moving on. Next is Ghost Rider, Fear Itself, #1. And this is the first female Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones, which I had never even heard of. I didn't even know there was a female Ghost Rider. That tells you how much I know. Rumors that they're going to bring this version of Ghost Rider to the Doctor Strange 2. You didn't care about her before. Maybe they'll bring her to, maybe the book will be worth something, but it literally jumped from a $5 cover price book to a $30+ book. Do we really think she's going to have that huge of a role? Maybe. I mean, I guess if she becomes the MCU's Ghost Rider, a whole bunch of people are going to be pissed. Then probably will be backlash because of that, and the book will go through the roof. So I could be wrong. I think this is a trap. I don't think we've never cared about this character. I don't think we're going to care about it. So Dollar Ben is saying I'm wrong again. That Bella Thorne has been approached by this, maybe. And like I said, this is a swing and a miss one. This one is, I could swing and a miss on this one if she becomes important to the MCU. If she's a one-off, if it's a multiverse Doctor Strange thing where he's like basically traveling the multiverse, multiverse of madness, and we see a female version of the Ghost Rider who pops up in it and then disappears and never is seen again. Do we really think this is going to be the version of Ghost Rider they're going to use long-term MCU-wise? I have my doubts, but they're going for more diversity, so maybe. I don't know. At $30, the other thing is, I honestly think that there's nothing solid about this yet. We're a ways from the movie. I would say patience on this one will probably pay off, but again, I'm killing himself. So, I think there's going to be lulls with this book. I don't think it's one you have to go get right now. I think you just want to be patient. I think it's a trap at the moment. And really says Cosmic's the only one that matters. The only one that matters is the one they ultimately use long term. In terms of MCU spec. Otherwise, it's the comics that we've always cared about. We've never cared about this one. That is my opinion on that. All right. One last Who, and this one was on the verge of in the Come On Mans. I only had one Come On Man this week. We only got 2 books left. There was only 16 between the 2 lists this week. This is the first Nocturna and Batman 363, and this is basically they're working on casting, or they already have casting news, or somebody already attached. I don't know if she's officially got the role or not to play Nocturna in the Batwoman CW show. These CW show villains have never amounted to anything. They spike. You get an alert from Key Collector. People go buy the damn things. And 2 months later, by the time they even appear on the show, nobody cares. The CW shows have proven over and over and over again they are not producing value. That they do not provide a true boost to the character long term. Nobody's going to care about Nocturna. Nobody. And you didn't care about her before. It was $1 book. Now you're paying $15 to $20 and $130 for a 9.8 of this thing. Come on, man. I'm just come on. What are we doing? Seriously. So with that, we do not have any that I threw completely in the dumpster fire. And although I was super tempted by the last one, we do have a Come On Man. And I'm going to pull this up, and Legion of Monsters, #1, Volume 3, mind you. This is not the first Legion of Monsters. This is just Volume 3. But, so Jared Leto posted a picture on Instagram. Even saying this makes me angry that people are chasing this book. And they hit both lists. It was on both lists this week. Jared Leto posted a picture on Instagram and said, with doing research, and he holds up, and the cover is this cover of this book. Okay. So we're specking that if Morbius is a hit, we're going to get Legion of Monsters. Right? Well, when you go for the actual first Legion of Monsters, this is Volume 3. There's no first here. This is just the book he was holding, and you went from a $1 book to a $20 to $30 book. What the hell is wrong with us? The Legion of Hoosters. Hey, you never cared about any of these characters but Morbius anyway, just about. And Jared was reading it, saying he was doing research. Again, why wouldn't you go for the first Legion of Monsters if that's your spec bit? Not that you should do that either, but come on, man. So, even the cover says it. Okay, that is an A+ comment right there. That is very well done. That is excellent work, my friend. That is excellent work. Okay, so that is the 16 books for this week. As we said before, I will be right, I will be wrong. These are my opinions based on looking at the list. I know there was a couple books Dollar Ben disagreed with me on this week. I will say the history of doing the list is that 70 to 80%, 70-ish% of these books will drop in value easily. Another 20% are going to basically stay where they're at right now. So being patient won't hurt you any. Only 10% are going to continue to do anything and climb. That is what I have found in doing this for over a year. That is the rules I'm trying to apply to this list. Will I be wrong on some books? Will I miss? Yes. But we'll find out in 6 months when we look back. So with that, let me shout out this chat because you guys are amazing one more time, and then we will get out of here. Biggie Shack, what's going on? He's still here. Dollar Ben disagrees with me about 20% of the time. Hey, and it's in that margin from the 60 to 80% where those books go back and forth. And it's determining which of the books is in the 60 to 70% that's going to drop and which is in the 20 to 30% that's going to actually continue to do something. And there's a little debate on which ones those are. Some books are obvious, some are not. So I'm really still hanging out. Poke Cerebus, thank you for hopping in. Some comic book hunter, thank you for joining us. Gregarian with the comment of the day. Mr. Miracle, what's going on, my friend? Hawk, what's going on? Glad you could join me. Let's see, anybody else? Chris Lackey, thank you for hopping in here. I appreciate all you guys. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I'm scrolling up here a ways. Comic Jabroni, what's going on, Jabroni? In any of these, if you find a deal, he points out with when I say they're crap or I'm ripping on a book, it's it paying the current bust prices, crazy prices. It's not that the book itself is bad. Like if you find a deal on it, go for it. Comic Success and what's going on. Two brothers still hanging out. Okay, so that's most everybody that's hung out here toward the end. Warlord, thank you for showing up. And Comics for Thomas is still hanging out. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate that dollar bid. I won't highlight that one. But so, hey, I'm putting it out there. Will I be wrong? Like I said, I will. But, hey, I'm going to give you guys my opinion. Do with it what you will. We're right at 30 minutes, which is when I want to keep these two. So tonight I will have my Sunday live streams with this week's kind of pickups and talking about some C2E2 stuff and whatever else I feel like. So come join in for that, and we will catch you guys next time. Later.